Hi, my name is Josh Urban Davis from Dartmouth College and Autodesk Research, and today I'll be discussing designing co-creative AI for virtual environments. I'd like to thank my co-authors from Autodesk Research, including Fraser Anderson, Merton Strotzel, Tovi Grossman, and George Fitzmaurice, for their support of this work. Let's begin by discussing generative design, which is a powerful class of creative artificial intelligences. Traditional generative design enables a human user to specify high-level design goals to a machine, and then leverages the machine's computational power to generate all possible solutions to those design goals. However, using these algorithms is often constraint-based, and it's a linear process that's solution-driven and requires the human user to sift through numerous computer-generated solutions in order to find usable designs. The problem with this is although generative design promises to be a powerful co-creative tool for artists and designers, these end users don't think in this parametric linear way. So we asked a very simple question. Can we design an interface for generative design that supports creativity, expression, and playfulness? To investigate this, we prototyped a system called Project Calliope, a virtual reality environment that enables users to interactively explore generative design solutions for 3D artifacts. We should note that we named Calliope for the Greek muse of epic poetry, sculpture, and architecture. Let's now see a brief demonstration of the system. In this example, the user is designing a chair and wants the chair to have armrests. They are able to use traditional sculpting tools in order to indicate to the system that they wish for Calliope to generate designs which contain armrests. After a period of computation, Calliope generates and presents several examples of chairs containing the armrest feature, as we can see here. One of the goals of this system is to map traditional virtual reality sculpting techniques used by artists to the parametric constraints of generative design. To better understand how artists intuitively design in VR, we conducted a formative study consisting of 6 participants who were artists, architects, and engineers in a 60-minute semi-structured interview, which we coded for common themes. From this, we derived 4 design goals and considerations for building our co-creative human-AI system for virtual environments. We wanted to maintain a tightly looped human-AI collaboration. This means that we wanted to keep the user engaged while the system completed computation, and that both the human and the machine are performing tasks suited to their abilities. We also wanted to ensure that the system maintained a modicum of transparency, so the user never felt lost or misled by the machine. Many of our interviewees also expressed a difference between creativity and creation, indicating that often good ideas come from an exploration of many ideas. But too many ideas, conversely, such as those produced by generative design, can be overwhelming to sort through. Thus, carefully navigating this tension between creativity and creation is important for an interface for generative design that encourages exploration and creativity to consider. And finally, we wanted to leverage the spatial nature of virtual reality for engagement, so the user can explore the virtual environment as a means of engaging with the system. The generative algorithm on which Calliope was developed is called a 3D generative adversarial network. Due to time constraints of this talk, we will not be going into details on this algorithm, but we encourage you to see more in our paper. To explore our design constraints discovered during our formative interviews, we developed several interaction techniques and system features, including mutation, which allows a user to morph 2 objects together, favoriting, which helps Calliope learn design solutions preferred by the user, spatial engagement, which encourages the user to perform parallel design ideation inside the virtual environment, and direct editing. Again, due to time constraints, we will not be discussing all of these interaction techniques here, but please see our paper for more details. Let's now quickly walk through our example of direct editing from the beginning of this talk to sketch an intuition for Calliope's expressive powers. A user begins by selecting an empty box called a vitrine, and selecting an object they wish Calliope to generate, in this case, a chair. Calliope will generate a chair from the solution space to inspire the designer. The designer can then select one of the generated chairs and select a manipulation technique. in this case, editing. Here, the designer is able to directly edit the chair in order to indicate desired features such as leg length, size, or anything they wish to see in the final design. In this case, the designer creates armrests, which Calliope then generates. During the computation time, the designer is encouraged to explore other designs in the space, keeping the designer engaged and creative while the system computes solutions. After the system has generated design solutions, they are presented to the user in an adjoining room. And as we can see here, the solutions presented contain the desired armrest feature. By repeating this process of generating, manipulation, the designer is able to explore the physical space of Calliope, as well as potential design solutions to identify their preferred final design. Since this process produces a branching structure to the design solutions, the resulting collection of designs can be represented using a radial data visualization pattern, which informed the overall design of our virtual environment. To briefly summarize, VR is an intuitive medium for collaborating with AI on 3D media. And the spatial nature of VR can be used to keep the user engaged and creative while the system thinks. Once again, this has been Designing Co-Creative AI for Virtual Environments. My name is Josh Urban Davis. If you have any questions, please see our paper in the Proceedings of Creativity and Cognition 2021, or feel free to reach out to me via email or Twitter. Thank you for your attention.